In response to the 2013 floods, BMRG commissioned some high definition imagery of the Burnett River and other rivers in the region to try to quantify how much, get an idea of the scale of damage through the region. From those imageries we could map the actual scouring and riparian damage. Yeah, the damage through the entire region was quite significant. There was a lot of large slumping and there was a lot of land lost back straight into the river. So these riparian areas are very important parts of the riverine systems. These areas need to be maintained and managed properly to ensure good vegetation cover, so that during these flood times that there isn't high levels of erosion. As the water levels recede, areas with a lack of vegetation tend to slump away into the river because there's nothing holding them there. So by doing these revegetation works and managing these areas properly, you can prevent this slumping during future flood events. Yeah, one of the projects that we undertook during the Riparian Restoration project was this property out at South Cyclone. There was approximately 7 large slumps where he'd lost land into the river. For this particular project, we have assisted him with earthworks to initially stabilise these slump areas, and we've fenced off his riparian zone so he can manage those riparian zones better, and we've also revegetated so that during future flood events those soils are held together for longer and we don't get that slumping back into the river that we've seen. Yeah, we identified Land at Kurth's property as a high priority area. We did a site visit with some of our technical staff who have experience with soils and landscapes. We visited the site and could actually see what was actually happening. We had these steep, high, unstable banks, and it was identified that these would not naturally stabilise without some sort of help. It's about 900 metres of riverbank long, so it's quite a large area. Trying to teach landholders about these issues and why it has occurred. It's changing people's mindsets as to what is important about these riparian zones and how to manage them properly, because the old school thought is that you just use these areas like you would any other part of your farm is not necessarily correct, and people should look at managing these areas quite differently. It's all important to keep some sort of native vegetation existing in those areas to prevent this slumping and erosion in the future. So the advantages of managing riparian zones reach much further than farm productivity. There's actually a lot of water quality advantages too. So we're starting to see that if you can maintain these riparian zones and hold those soils together, a lot of the nutrient that might run off farms actually gets captured in these areas. But secondly, if you can prevent this scouring during flood times, you prevent that nutrient from going into the river system, and therefore you decrease the impacts on water quality. And because we are within the Great Barrier Reef area that has direct influence on the water quality going straight to the reef, the benefits reach much further than we probably imagine.